Hurricanes are among nature's most powerful and destructive forces. Over the decades, many hurricanes have left indelible marks on history. One name that stands out amidst these is Helene, a storm name that has recurred in different regions over the years, each time embodying the raw, untamed force of nature. In this video, we'll explore the deadliest Hurricane Helene in the world. Before that, subscribe to our channel Life is Often and hit the bell icon for regular updates. Let's begin. The earliest record of a Hurricane Helene causing severe damage dates back to 1958. This particular Helene was an exceptionally powerful storm, forming in the warm Atlantic waters and rapidly intensifying into a Category 4 hurricane. As it approached the United States, meteorologists and coastal residents feared the worst. Helene's powerful winds reached speeds of 150 miles per hour on September 26th, making it one of the strongest storms of its time. Before bending to sea, this hurricane came within 16 kilometers of North Carolina. While it did not make a direct landfall, the hurricane skirted the eastern seaboard, causing significant damage to the Carolina. Coastal flooding, uprooted trees, and damaged infrastructure were reported throughout the region, and the storm surge inundated low-lying areas. The hurricane dissipated near Britain on October 4th. Although loss of life was minimal due to effective evacuation measures, the impact on property with total damages over $11 million and the sheer scale of the storm made it a memorable and deadly event in its own right. Fast forward to 1988, and Helene struck again, this time in the Atlantic. While not as catastrophic as some of its predecessors, this Helene was noteworthy for its erratic behavior and the anxiety it caused among meteorologists. As Helene began as a mild storm, it quickly became more intense, reaching wind speeds of up to 145 miles per hour. Moreover, it shifted its trajectory in an unpredictable manner, which created doubt regarding where it may land. Even though the storm eventually passed over open waters, the nervous anticipation and fast intensity of the storm made it an experience that will be remembered for a long time. Though loss of life and damage were minimal, this Category 4 Helene highlighted the ever-present challenge of predicting hurricanes and preparing for their potential impacts. In 2000, a storm named Helene once again emerged, this time in the Atlantic, and it was a brutal reminder of nature's power. The intensity of this hurricane quickly increased, and it eventually reached Category 3 status with winds of more than 120 miles per hour. Although it stayed away from major land masses, it posed a significant threat to shipping lanes and offshore installations. There were multiple vessels that reported terrifying encounters with the towering waves and violent winds that Helene was bringing, with some of them narrowly avoiding catastrophe. The storm eventually weakened and dissipated without making landfall, but the hurricane's intense power and the dangers it posed to maritime activities underscored the risks that hurricanes bring, even when they don't threaten populated areas. The 2006 Hurricane Helene was another memorable incarnation of this deadly storm name. Over the course of its formation off the coast of Africa, Hurricane Helene moved westward over the Atlantic Ocean and rapidly gathered strength, eventually reaching the Category 3 status. Fortunately, it remained at a considerable distance from the land and caused a minimal risk to the people that were located along the coast. However, Helene's size and strength were enough to create rough seas and hazardous conditions along the western Atlantic, affecting both shipping and aviation. While it eventually weakened and dissipated, the 2006 version of Hurricane Helene reminded everyone of how quickly these storms can grow into powerful systems, posing threats not just to land, but also to those navigating the open ocean. Another deadly occurrence of Hurricane Helene came in 2012, but this time, it struck the other side of the world as a cyclone. This particular Helene formed in the Indian Ocean and made landfall on Madagascar, an island nation that is highly vulnerable to cyclones. The storm brought torrential rains and destructive winds, wreaking havoc on the island's fragile infrastructure. Thousands of homes were destroyed, and the agricultural sector, a vital part of the island's economy, suffered extensive damage. Fields were flooded, and entire crops were lost, leading to food shortages and economic hardship. Helene's rampage through Madagascar claimed many lives and left thousands displaced, struggling to rebuild in the aftermath. 2018 saw yet another significant and deadly Helene, this time taking a rare and unusual track in the Atlantic. Forming near the Cape Verde Islands, this Helene rapidly intensified, reaching Category 2 strength. What made the 2018 Helene unique was its path. It veered northeast, heading towards Europe, a rare trajectory for Atlantic hurricanes. As it approached the British Isles, Helene transitioned into a powerful extratropical storm. Although it no longer had the characteristics of a hurricane, its impact was severe severe, with strong winds and heavy rain lashing Ireland and the United Kingdom. The storm caused widespread travel disruptions, power outages, and structural damage in parts of Ireland and Western England. It was a sobering reminder that hurricanes can have far-reaching impacts, even in regions not typically associated with such storms. Most recently, Hurricane Helene made landfall on September 30th, 2024. This powerful storm swept through Florida's Big Bend region with winds reaching up to 140 miles per hour and an astonishing storm surge that inundated coastal areas. In its wake, Helene has already claimed at least 177 lives across multiple states, including North Carolina and South Carolina. The sheer scale of destruction has left communities reeling. Many are still without power or access to essential services days after the storm passed. Helene's impact extended far beyond coastal areas. It unleashed torrential rains that led to catastrophic flooding inland. Reports indicate that some regions experienced over 30 inches of rainfall within just a few days. Emergency services have been overwhelmed as they navigate blocked roads and damaged infrastructure while trying to reach those stranded or cut off from aid. The aftermath has revealed significant challenges for recovery efforts, with communication systems down and many areas isolated due to landslides or flooding. Residents face a daunting task ahead as they begin to rebuild their lives amidst uncertainty. Local officials have described this as one of the worst storms in modern history for their communities. Looking back at the history of Hurricane Helene, it's clear that this name has become synonymous with unpredictability and power. Each time it reappears, it brings with it the potential for destruction and loss, a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable power. Climate change continues to intensify weather patterns, making hurricanes more unpredictable and potentially more destructive than ever before. Rising sea levels, warmer ocean temperatures, and shifting atmospheric conditions are creating a new breed of hurricanes, ones that may grow stronger and last longer. That's all for today's video. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thanks for watching.